On Long Island, a ghost once stood tall, not a spirit of flesh, but a skeleton of steel reaching toward the sky. This was Wardenclyffe, the dream of a man who wanted to give the world free energy. For a brief moment, humanity stood on the edge of a wireless future. Nikola Tesla envisioned power flowing through the air like sound, a vision too radical for its time, too dangerous for the bankers who funded it. Today, the tower is gone, scrapped for money, but the blueprints remain, whispering of a technology lost to history. What really happened inside that laboratory before the lights went out forever? We remember Tesla for the current that powers our homes, but his final masterpiece was far more ambitious, an attempt to turn the entire planet into a conductor. In this video, we uncover the rise and fall of the world wireless system, from the sparks of Colorado Springs to the silence of Wardenclyffe, the story of the invention that could have changed everything. To understand Wardenclyffe, we return to the late 19th century. The world was being rewired. Edison championed direct current, safe but limited. He wanted to sell electricity by the bulb, metering every unit. Tesla arrived with a different vision. Wires were expensive, dangerous, ugly. He proposed alternating current, power that could travel miles without losing strength. The war of currents began, a battle of patents and public demonstrations. Eventually, AC won. Niagara Falls was harnessed. Power flowed to Buffalo. Tesla was hailed as the man who electrified the world. But while others celebrated the light bulb, Tesla was already looking beyond it. He believed electricity was not just for light, but for information, for power without wires. By 1899, Tesla left New York for Colorado Springs. He needed high altitude and storms to test his theories. There, he built a massive laboratory. He claimed to have received signals from another planet. Historians believe it was atmospheric noise. Regardless, the experiments succeeded. He lit lamps wirelessly, created artificial lightning that thundered for miles. The local power plant shut down from the energy drain. He proved the Earth itself could conduct electricity. Tesla returned with a new proposal, the World Wireless System, a central hub, a massive tower to pump energy into the ground. He needed money. Enter J.P. Morgan. The banker saw potential in wireless communication. He agreed to fund Tesla, but with strict conditions. The deal was struck in 1901. Tesla purchased land on Long Island. He named it Wardenclyffe. Plans were drawn for a tower 187 feet tall, the heart of a new global network. Construction began with immense optimism. The tower was not just an antenna, it was a magnifying transmitter, designed to resonate with the Earth's natural frequency. If successful, a ship at sea could receive power anywhere on the globe. The laboratory housed generators and massive coils. Underground, a deep shaft reached the water table, a perfect ground connection. Every detail calculated for maximum resonance. Tesla worked tirelessly, sleeping 2 hours a night. He visualized the entire machine before building it. He claimed that if successful, no coal would ever need to be burned again, the energy of the planet free for the taking. In 1902, the tower took shape, a wooden dome at the top designed to hold electrical charge, like a giant mushroom ready to release energy into the ionosphere. Neighbors watched in awe and fear. Inside, the equipment arrived, massive transformers, switches handling millions of volts. Tesla was creating a machine that had never existed, the internet and the power grid combined, decades before the technology to support it. Tests began cautiously, small discharges, the air smelled of ozone, the ground vibrated under the force of the current. Tesla recorded every measurement. He believed he was on the verge of the greatest discovery in human history. He envisioned phones in pockets, wireless news feeds, cars powered by the air. These ideas sound modern, but they were spoken in 1902. The technology was there, but society was not ready for free energy. Morgan visited occasionally. He saw the tower rising, but no immediate profit. Marconi was making headlines with simpler radio systems. Morgan began to question the cost versus the return. Tesla begged for more funds. He explained that communication was only step one. Power transmission was the ultimate goal. But to a banker, free power meant no meter, and no meter meant no money. The conflict was inevitable. By 1903, the tower was nearly complete. Tesla prepared for the first full power test. He promised to light up the sky, to send a message across the ocean without a wire. The world held its breath. While Tesla prepared, the world changed. In December 1901, Marconi transmitted the letter S across the Atlantic, a simple signal, but it worked. Newspapers celebrated Marconi as the father of wireless radio. Tesla's complex system suddenly looked unnecessary. Morgan stopped the funding. Additional capital would not be provided. Tesla was stunned. He had spent nearly everything on the tower and lab. Without more money, he could not complete the equipment for the full test. Tesla tried to find other investors. He wrote to wealthy individuals, to governments. He offered them the rights to the system, but the shadow of Marconi was too strong. Why invest in a risky tower when simple radio antennas worked? Technical challenges mounted. The tower leaked energy. Insulation was not perfect. Tesla needed more power than the local grid could supply. He asked for more electricity. They refused without payment. The circle of debt tightened. In 1904, Morgan exercised his right to the patent. He effectively locked Tesla out of his own invention. The banker wanted to protect investments in copper wire and telegraph cables. Wireless power threatened the entire energy market. Tesla fought back legally. He filed lawsuits claiming Marconi infringed on his patents. These battles would drag on for decades. But in the short term, Tesla lost the war for funding. The laboratory went silent. The generators turned off. The tower stood idle. Wind whistled through the wooden dome. Birds nested in the steel framework. It became a monument to unfinished potential. Tesla watched from his window, knowing the machine worked in theory, but died in practice. By 1905, the project was officially dead. Tesla could not pay the mortgages. The land was foreclosed. The dream of free energy buried under debt and paperwork. The inventor who gave the world light was now left in the dark. The years following Wardenclyffe were difficult. Tesla moved from hotel to hotel in New York. He accumulated debts he could never repay. His mind remained sharp, but his resources were gone. He continued to invent, but few listened. In 1915, he sued Marconi for patent infringement. The case languished in courts. It was not until 1943, after Tesla's death, that the Supreme Court upheld his patents. But the victory was posthumous, too late to save Wardenclyffe. The tower met a grim fate. In 1917, new owners needed to clear the land. They deemed the structure worthless. Workers climbed the steel frame with torches and sledgehammers. The wood sold for lumber. The steel sold for scrap to pay Tesla's debts. Tesla was reportedly devastated. He watched the destruction of his life's work. He said little publicly, but those close to him noted a deep sadness. The tower was not just metal, it was his hope for humanity. He retreated into solitude. He developed odd habits, feeding pigeons in parks, obsessing over germs. The public began to view him as a mad scientist rather than a visionary. The media mocked his later claims about death rays and earthquake machines. Yet his notebooks from this period show he was still working on viable ideas. He designed vertical takeoff aircraft, conceptualized radar technology. But without a laboratory, these remained sketches on paper. The world moved on without him. When he died in 1943, he was alone in a hotel room. The FBI seized his papers, fearing dangerous technology. The legacy of Wardenclyffe scattered across government archives. The man who dreamed of connecting the world died in isolation. But the story does not end in the grave. Decades later, scientists began to revisit Tesla's equations. They realized his understanding of resonance and frequency was ahead of its time. The principles of Wardenclyffe are found in modern technology. Today, we charge our phones wirelessly. It is induction, a cousin of Tesla's vision. We communicate instantly across the globe without wires. The internet fulfills his dream of a wireless information network. The world he predicted is the world we inhabit. Researchers are even experimenting with long-range wireless power again. Drones powered by laser beams, satellites transmitting energy via microwaves. The technical hurdles Tesla faced are being solved with modern materials and computers. In 2013, a campaign raised funds to save the Wardenclyffe site. It was turned into a museum and science center. The land is preserved. A statue of Tesla stands where the tower once rose, a pilgrimage site for engineers and dreamers. Historians now recognize that Tesla was not wrong about the science. He was wrong about the economics. Free energy disrupts markets. His failure was not technical, but societal. We were not ready to let go of the meter. His patents formed the basis of radio, robotics, and remote control. Every time you use a remote, you use Tesla's invention. Every time you turn on an AC motor, you use his legacy. He is everywhere, even if his name is often forgotten. The ghost of Wardenclyffe still lingers in the airwaves. The resonance he sought is now the backbone of our civilization. We are living in the world Tesla built, even if we do not see the tower.
Nikola Tesla showed us that innovation is not just about invention, it is about timing, about convincing the world to believe in a future it cannot yet see. Wardenclyffe was a beacon that burned too bright for its era. We must ask ourselves, what innovations are being lost today? What towers are being dismantled because they threaten the status quo? The story of Tesla is a warning and an inspiration. Do not let the dream die just because the funding stops. The energy of the earth is still there. The potential is still waiting. Perhaps one day someone will finish what Tesla started. Until then, we remember the man who lit the world and tried to power it for free. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, subscribe to Lost Innovations. We uncover the secrets that history tried to bury. Join us next time as we explore another forgotten miracle. Thank you for watching. Keep looking up. The future is still being written.